evening, everyone. It's Norm. This is what I did for 4th of July 2024. Peggy's here with me tonight. It's a very, very muggy night. There's a lot of action in the clouds. They're just a lot of lightning bolts and a lot of colorful clouds, really dark ones.
I see.
Yeah, it's behind me here, and I'm going to add some of that into the video here.
Wow.
It's a very, very hot, humid night, and they're talking about some strange weather coming through, and I'm standing out in the front. Going to want to work on trying to do the 4th of July window, but I'm looking behind me and I'm seeing lots of lightning bolts, and so I'm just going to let my camera run here and record some of this. But I had some earlier clouds I'm going to put in the video too. They were really brilliant oranges and yellows, and then some black ones drifting over. I don't think I'd want to be over there flying around in that kind of weather.
Yeah, it looks like heat lightning, actually.
Some of it is, yeah, but we've seen some pretty spectacular colors where the sun was shining on the gray clouds.
Big thunderheads.
Making them glow, and then black ones were swirling over them.
Yeah, actually they're under them for us to see like that. Going by much faster, yeah.
Right.
It was really a neat looking sky.
Well, I'm going to move in a little bit closer, say a couple things about a few things, and then Peggy's going to add some little tidbits too. One thing I wanted to show was Waldo has decided to come out from the shadows. He's got his goggle on and a ring around his waist, so he's ready to jump in. This boat here I bought at an antique shop downtown Hopkins, Antiques on Main Street, and it is a 1950 Hart craft, and it's made in California, patent pending. It's a wind-up boat. It's got a spring in there, and that white lump in the middle of the center there is you slide that back and you stick in a crank and you crank it up, and then you can put that back over it, put the boat in the water, and it's got a very big prop down there and a big rudder. And it's what's unusual about this one is it's so old, but it has all of its windshields. That center hump in the middle where I told you is where the crank goes in to wind up the spring. That's there, and the crank is too. So this was very unusual to have all those pieces. Peggy is working on keeping the mosquitoes off of me. Thank you, Peggy.
Oh, it's
because they're out all night.
First ones I've seen this year, actually.
Yeah, and then of course this is midsummer almost now for Minnesota, so they're getting pretty annoying.
Well, our city is excellent at controlling mosquitoes around here. We don't see any most of the time, but it's been raining for so much that now I'm seeing some of them.
Yep, so you're going to see a little bugs floating around. Peggy surprised me. Last year I took her out to...
That was at Forest Lake, huh?
Was it?
Yep.
Okay, I couldn't
place
believe
I went in.
that a couple days before the 4th of July, someone would leave Uncle Sam at the thrift store.
He's the coolest Uncle
He
Sam
is,
I've ever
yeah,
seen.
very, very detailed.
He's awfully embarrassed about something, though. He's got such a red face.
Yeah.
He's embarrassed at
I think you're right, yeah.
politics nowadays.
Down next to him is a little drummer boy. There's a gentleman, Gareth, in England who has been writing Peggy a lot, and he's very, very complimentary.
And generous.
And generous, too. He sends me some wind-up toys, and that was one of them.
Tin toys, yeah.
Tin toys, yeah, it's kind of cute when you wind them up. One other thing, this rocket here has a pump on it, and this is one of my favorite toys when I was a kid. You take it off the launcher, you fill it up with some, halfway up with water, then you start putting it on the pump and you pump it up really, really hard, and then that trigger down there in the end, you point it to the sky, and that rocket takes off and goes way the heck up. I'm surprised at how high up it goes, and the water is propelling it, the thrust. And of course it's really hard plastic, so it just comes down and bangs on the ground or the grass, so it's no big deal. But anyway, over here I have my card, the button I was working on when I was running for the Senate, U.S. Senate. Actually, that's Norm Coleman from Minnesota. He's a Republican. And then, of course, everybody likes Ike.
Sorry, I'm using an index card.
Yeah, she's swishing them away, but...
Keep the bugs.
Why don't you tell us about Howdy Doody, honey? 2 weekends ago.
Yeah, it was Sunday, I think. We decided we wanted to do something, go walk around. So me mostly, I go in all the family pathways, thrift stores on the way up 35W. I went to Forest Lake first.
Okay, yep.
And
at the family pathways there, we looked around and through town to get up to...
went in town, and Norm said, oh, this little shop is open. We tend to be up there on weekdays, and little shops aren't open until weekends. So we've never gone in, but maybe once in many years. A little shop called Vintage Junkie.
Yep.
It's small, and they have a lot of repurposed nice things, but she also had, it was this one lady that seemed like she owned the place, right? She was there by herself, and I spotted Howdy Doody head vase, which Norm's not even showing right now.
No, I'm trying to move the camera around, and I'll get back over to Howdy Doody here.
I think it's marked on the bottom, and I forget what is marked on the bottom, but it is from the 80s. It's stamped on the bottom as from the 80s.
Right, yeah.
But he's very cute. It's a head vase, so we could have put something in him. I did use some red Testors enamel gloss paint on his lips because there was a little wear and like poorly painted on some of his parts of his lips. So I did want it to look nicer. So Norm was happier when I did that.
He's pretty handsome now.
And then when you were way over there on the other side, the flashlight I just got for $1.25 at the Pink Squirrel, the Ever-Ready flashlight. And we put a couple of, was it D batteries? Well, it worked. So that is also, I think, they said it was probably a 70s item because of the bicentennial. See, Howdy Doody doesn't have anything to do with the bicentennial, but things like that flashlight, they did a lot of stuff with flags on it, like the lunchbox was.
Do you recall where the lunchboxes are from?
The one on the left, the flag was most likely a Goodwill, or could very well have been from North Branch Family Pathways. That might be. And then the one on the right, I was very surprised a couple years ago to find that at Hutchinson Main Street Antiques, probably. But it was $12. It was like $12, and it was marked half price, so I couldn't believe it was only $6. And it's got wonderful graphics.
On the back, Betsy Ross, is it? All right, this is the way it was in the window, and I mistakenly said that Betsy Ross was on the back showing a new flag for the country, but turns out she's sitting here on the side in her living room, and her husband's not really happy because she's cutting stars out of his shirt. That's pretty funny when you think about it.
Wonder who her husband was.
And let's look at the signing of the Declaration of Independence. And maybe this is Ben Franklin here getting a lot of ink on somebody's pants that's not real happy.
That's funny too, yeah.
And then over here, we have the Boston Tea Party depiction of that.
I'm not sure what's going on there. He's trying to make one of his cohorts into an Indian.
Right, yeah.
We don't know the story behind that, really.
And here is Paul Revere riding through the town, waking everybody up.
His kids are trying to wake.
There's a Minuteman sleeping sound, his musket is on the end of the bed.
Oh, look at his wig. I just noticed his wig there on the top of the headboard there. And here's his musket at the foot of the bed.
And his powder horn.
He got red socks over there on the chair.
Now this is pretty worn. This is the bottom when the kid would be using it.
Yeah.
And it's Aladdin Industries, looks like.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what is that under the bed? That's funny. The dog's trying to get in on the action too.
He's chewing on some of the...
Well, he's trying to get the covers off of him too, probably. So he's got a daughter. And
come on, Pa, get up.
Son.
We need you.
Yeah,
And,
so that's pretty cute. And what's on the top? That looks like a Paul Revere.
Yeah, Paul Revere type guy, and this must be the British soldiers.
Oh, sure.
So
he's got a pile of snowballs.
They had a lot more than a snowball fight.
Yeah.
And then when you open it up, it's really clean inside.
Oh, I don't think I bothered with the safety first rules. That's cute. You want to hear something funny? I ended up with a Instagram video in my feed. It was an older lady. She was saying that in her thoughts that baby boomers must be salmonella proof, because she said the whole time we were going to school, and Norm and I are baby boomers, we never put our lunches in a refrigerator at school. And we had egg salad sandwiches and ham sandwiches with mayo. And back then, they probably didn't, we don't know if they had a preservative in mayonnaise back then, because there was all those warnings. So she thought that was really something that we
lived through that.
So she thought we had pretty good constitutions, evidently. Play on words there.
Oh, that's a good one, honey.
Okay, so that's enough of that, but I just thought
Enough of a history lesson.
Throw that in about the lunchbox. That was lunchbox related.
Anyway, she's got a salt and pepper down here, the Liberty Bell. I've got some fireworks.
He stole my salt and pepper. I didn't know he stole my salt and pepper, but
I cannot tell a lie.
I let him go through all the 4th of July bins that we had.
Yeah, that's where I found them.
I normally would have been just using them in the kitchen, but see, I doubt that I'm going to get any 4th of July kitchen and dining room video done this year.
This crazy thing here, Bush versus Kerry, 2004. If you hold in your hand and you squeeze that bottom part, they start boxing back and forth. It's kind of funny.
Oh, are you up high enough to show that?
I am, yeah, a little bit. Yep, I am. And but we're struggling here with these mosquitoes. They're terrible tonight.
Yes.
All right, well, I'm going to suggest we call this a night, because the mosquitoes are all over the window. They're all over us.
And we found the stars that are hanging up at the thrift store too.
There's no breeze tonight, but
and we also find at the Family Pathways a cute little Thai bear, the Patriotic bear back there.
Yeah, we did.
That was, those are things, and the penny. Pretty sure we found a penny.
That's a real penny.
There's a lot more things. There's a lot more things that Norm has that are red, white, and blue, but
couldn't get them all in.
Well.
All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little narrative between Peg and I.
I really like the cloth that we found this year. There were lots and lots of bolts of Patriotic material, but this one just seemed very light And there's silver stars on it that actually are a little glittery. And I just thought this one was really neat because it was kind of swirly around a star. It'll look like a pinwheel swirl.
Yep, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right.
And there were others that were a lot heavier and too busy. But this one, I love what that looks like.
Well, Peggy, I have a mosquito on my left shoulder and one on my right shoulder.
Oh, biting your
and they're
wrist.
about ready to carry me away.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to call this a
That
night.
I'd like to see.
I would not like to see a couple mosquitoes carrying me away. Okay. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good night and a happy 4th and a safe 4th of July.
Oh my goodness. I haven't been out here for quite a few days. I had no idea the snowball bush was that big and bloomed. I didn't see any blossoms on it till today. That's wonderful. That looks pretty healthy too. I wanted to share the flowers out front here along our driveway are really looking nice this year. It's been wonderful getting all this rain every week. We have not had to water gardens once. I have had these phlox here for a very, very long time. And here is a mess. The weeds have taken over, so I've got a lot of spraying to do, or Norm. But right here we had a huge bush that had thorns on it. It was pretty and would turn red in the fall, and berries, wonderful bright orange berries in the winter months, but the thorns were just horrible, and it just needed way trimming back, so Norm said he wanted to take it out. But look at how now that's all chewed up since I came out here 2 days ago, and all the leaves have been chewed off these lilies. Every year these lilies haven't had a chance to bloom because the rabbits would eat them down to the ground before they got anywhere. So I was pretty excited this year. They somehow left them alone till they got this high, and now I see they're really chewing them up. That is ground cover that blossoms like that every year. 2 summers ago we put in all this overdam grasses, and they're doing okay. Surprising. That poor little thing doesn't do very well. It's a heuchera, and it's the type that can tolerate the sun. It's very hot out here. This is a type of sunflower that I would have to put a note in here what it is. It does have variegated leaves. It's been behaving pretty good. I'm kind of surprised because the first time I ever tried these, look at how nice this one is. The first time I ever tried that type of sunflower, it just seeded all over the place and it was very hard to pull out. So this is looking really nice. Yeah, I just don't see any bees. It is kind of weird. I saw butterflies very early in the spring out in the backyard. Do you see very many this year? I haven't seen any butterflies yet, but once the Joe Pye weed blossoms on the side of our yard and back, we have a lot of Joe Pye weed. We do get a lot of very nice butterflies then. That is evidence that the rabbit tried to eat up some of the sunflower. Right there. Another poor heuchera that never gets anywhere. Yeah, I still have weeds to spray in here. Believe it or not, I've already done it twice this spring. Sprayed all the weeds. I thought it would really work well. It didn't. So Norm bought the beautiful flag for us.
It really is a beautiful night. Very odd clouds tonight. I can hear thunder up there somewhere.